Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I had a great question in the comments asking for my real estate investments. Do I do out-of-state properties? Yes. If you've been following my channel, you know I own single-family homes in Huntsville, Alabama, as well as 2 apartment complexes in Oklahoma. So I have out-of-state rentals because California, it's too expensive to own an apartment complex. Single-family homes are expensive, so I want to go out of state where I could buy new builds, single-family homes for under $300,000, and also want to buy apartment complexes for under $1 million that are at least 20-ish units, right? So if you follow my journey, I have my 26 unit I bought for $500,000, put in $300,000 to renovate it, now worth about 1.5. The 20 unit I bought for $350,000, believe it or not, put in about $150,000 to renovate it. It's probably worth around $800,000 today. Right? So I wanted something that is more cash flow focused. So I went to buy apartments in Oklahoma. And then the second part of the question is, do you hire a property manager? And the answer is yes, right? I don't want to deal the day-to-day of my management. So I have a property manager for my 26 unit apartment complex, a property manager for my 20 unit apartment complex, property manager for my Huntsville, Alabama single family home, and all of my California single family homes I self-manage. Right? So I have 3 property managers that I used to work with. I used to have a 4th back when I owned a mobile home park, right? But I sold that, so I'm down to 3. So I have 2 property managers in Oklahoma because, you know, they're in different areas, and I have my Huntsville, Alabama property managers, and I want to scale around these 3 property managers, right? Because they're good. So I can scale around Huntsville, Alabama if I want to. I can scale around Oklahoma City, and I can scale around Enid, Oklahoma, because I have property manager in all 3, and they're decent, right? And so the third part of this question is, we hired a property manager, but notice there's still a lot of work on it despite there being a property manager. So to me, to answer this question, it's 2 things. Number 1, your property manager might be terrible, right? That's why they need a lot of work. Like 9 out of 10 property managers are terrible. So, you know, like you have to vet your property manager very carefully, and you have to, you know, use referrals, and then you have to be on top of them. And it's a 2-way street too. Like I expect my property managers to respond timely and to follow up timely and to teach me. If your property manager is not teaching you, then stay away. Your property manager should be more experienced in the asset class that you want to manage. If I have a single family home property manager managing my apartment complex, that's not a good idea, right? Managing an apartment complex is like running a business, right? It's based on the net operating income. The value is based on net operating income, so they have to focus on increasing your income by raising rents, but also minimizing your expenses, right? Well, single family homes, the value is based on the sales comps. So you do not want a property manager who only does single family homes to be managing your apartment complex. You want a property manager who does apartment complexes to manage your apartment complex, and vice versa. You want your property manager who manages single family homes to manage single family homes, right? Because they know the area and they know it better. So it's 2 different types of demographics, right? My apartments are C-class tenants, right? So the deal with C-class tenants. My single-family homes in Huntsville, Alabama, it's A-class tenants. So it's a different tenant personality, right? So usually you want people that manage, property managers that manage apartment complex to manage your apartment complex in similar size and similar age, right? So I want a C-class. If I own a C-class apartment complex, I want my property manager to manage other C-class apartment complexes, right? So that's why it's very hard. You have to find the perfect property manager. But once you find a good one, you got to treat them like gold, because you can scale around them. And I make it known, hey, I want to scale around you, right? I have a bunch of videos, I think, talking about property management. So just search property management on my channel. I have a bunch of videos on how to vet your property manager, when's a good property manager, when to fire a property manager, and how to negotiate the contracts, right? But typically, my property manager, I pay them about 7 to 8% of the rents and of the gross rents or gross income, and that's it, right? I don't get charged fees if they lease out the units. That's their job to lease out the units. I shouldn't have to pay you extra, right? Well, single family homes, you have to pay a percentage plus a leasing fee, right? But with apartments, it's just a gross percentage of the income, right? That's how it should be. That's what I mean. You don't want a person who manages a single family homes to manage your apartment, because to them, they want a leasing fee on top of a percentage, right? So that's another thing. So I would say really vet your property manager. Like maybe you don't have a good property manager, that's why you're doing a lot of work. Or what's your perception of work? Like, yes, when you own real estate, they're going to bother you, right? HVAC's going to break. They're going to have to text you or email you at random times to approve repair, right? Because if it's over like a certain amount, let's say it's over $500, you need approval, You have to approve that purchase, right? Unless you tell them, hey, if they say normally the contract says if it's over 500, it needs landlord approval. You could say, hey, I trust you. It'll be $1,000, right? So, is that considered work? Yes, it's considered work, but it's more leverage, right? So for me, if I have an HVAC repair, I usually will call and be like, hey, what's going on? Did we look at warranties? Did you get 3 quotes? Is this the best quote? Okay, let's go forward with it, right? So I have to make quick decisions too, right? So real estate's not truly passive ever, but it's more leverage. At this state of my life, I probably spend about maybe 2 to 4 hours a month managing my real estate portfolio, right? Because I own 2 apartment complexes, a 26 unit, fully renovated, fully stabilized, 20 unit, fully renovated, fully stabilized. All my single family homes, stabilized, same tenants, right? My Huntsville, Alabama, stabilized tenants. Worst case, I'll talk to each property manager on the phone, via text, via email, like once a month maybe, just to touch base if I have any questions, right? So like real estate's not truly passive. So I don't know what the definition of a lot of work is, right? Is a lot of work just responding to an email or text or getting on a phone call? Or are you having to do everything because your property manager sucks, right? Like, so that's the difference. Like, are you constantly having to like approve which tenants are there? So, so that if to me, you hired a property manager, but notice it's still a lot of work. So it's either 2 things. Either A, you had a bad property manager, in which case you got to find a new one. Or B, your perception of work is skewed. Because it's not like you just buy real estate and don't think about it ever, right? You still have to think about it, but it may just be a lot of time in the beginning if you're renovating it. Yeah, it's a lot of work. When I was renovating my apartment complexes, I would talk to my property managers 3 times a week, right? Get on the phone, text message, email, because they need to be on top of the renovations and they have questions for you. Like what flooring, what paint, what kitchen, what bathtub? Oh, I rip open the drywall. There's a plumbing issue. We have to repair that. Oh, electrical panel is old and recalled. You have to replace that, right? Oh, we ripped out something. We found out that there's mold here. We have to remediate that, right? As you do renovation, it's just a lot of work, right? If you're doing, loans and cash out refinance or hard money loans, it's a lot of work, right? So what's your perception of a lot of work? Like it's not going to be completely passive. Like you said, now I spend 2 to 4 hours a month, and real estate's built me a $5 million net worth. So what's your perception of work is my question to you. So anyways, great question. Hopefully I answer your questions. So to summarize, yes, I own out-of-state real estate. I own in Huntsville, Alabama and Oklahoma. Yes, I do hire property managers for my out-of-state properties because I want to scale, I want to leverage, and I don't want to be a slave to my real estate, right? I do manage my California real estate portfolio, right? Because if I were to have a property manager, it would be cash flow negative, so I don't want that. So I'll manage it myself, but I've had great tenants. I stayed there for a very long time, and it's not too hard self-managing that. And, in terms of your time commitment, your property management, like for me, when it's stabilized, 2 to 4 hours a month. So if you're spending more than that, either A, your property manager is not good, or B, maybe you don't want to spend 2 to 4 hours a month with real estate, in which case maybe, there's other avenues to invest your money, right? So anyways, hopefully you found value. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to buy multifamily real estate with some guidance and some mentorship, check out the mentorship program down below. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.